Hello, everyone. The first lecture for Rhino. Okay. So what we start with some of the basic functions. For example, I would start a polyline. Yes, we want to build a wall. We want to build a structure, polyline. And then I normally just click on anywhere. So I'm going to first draw lines, right? But now we need to understand the dimension. We don't just draw any line. I will draw a line of, let's say I'm going to draw a room that's 5 meters by 7 meters. So I'm going to start with a line, click, and then I'm going to type in 5,000 as 5,000 millimeter, yeah? So once you type in, you can actually go any direction. You can see it that, on my top view, you will see it that goes to any direction. I press on Shift because I want to go only horizontal and vertical. So I press on Shift and I click. So I managed to draw something 5 meters horizontally, okay? And then I'm going to draw 7 meters. Now with the same command is still in there, right? 7, line, 7,000. Type in 7,000, press enter. Okay, now it's telling you, asking you basically which direction. I type in 7,000 as a 7 meter. Okay, so now I needed to go only vertically. I press on the same key. What did I press on before? Shift, yeah, press on Shift. So it's locked to horizontal and vertical. And now you click. So basically 5,000 by 7,000, yeah. And then go back again, because you're doing a room. Type in another 5,000, press enter, press Shift again, okay, click. And now you can go to one of the options because you're finishing this, you would say close. Okay, here, if you can see it, I think it's hard to see. If you really don't see it very well, you can come closer, So anyway, there's one of the options. I'm talking to my computer anyway, always. Here is a command line, like I told you before. You read the command line, you see which one is useful. Okay, close, okay. Click on close. Okay, now it's 5,000 by 7,000. Okay, a room, a room, okay? So this is the line, yeah? So maybe, yeah, I'll just leave out the window open, but maybe give you a little bit bigger here. So once this is done, I'm going to build a thickness of the wall. So I would use something called the offset, OFFSET offset. So the wall is 240 millimeter, okay, in terms of thickness. So sometimes, that's how we work with the computer. If you remember where the toolbars are, okay, this is the pull down menu. You can go to all of them. The reason I'm not talking about all of them is there's so many of them. You may not right away where they are, but this is all called the pull down menu. And here is your toolbar. And this can be designed. You can bring out more of the toolbar if you like. Here is sort of a duplicated, there's multiple ways you can reach to something, so that's the part of the interface. But we are learning interface as we go and go along with learning the software, and don't try to memorize everything right away or know all of them. It's not going to be possible, but let's just learn a few things that you can function. That's probably very important. So I'm going to do offset. I can either type in, if that's how we do with a computer. If you type in the command. And if you don't know the command, you would see there's one of this, I believe, is either here, no, or here. It's actually here, the offset should be, or at least I think this one. No. See, this is. No. This one? Yeah. Okay, here is the offset. So, in a way, you can already understand it's more difficult to to find the toolbar, like where they are, click, click, and click, then memorize the comment, because you all remember the offset, I believe, by now. Yeah. Okay, so the toolbar is right here. So click on it, same thing. Okay, select, and now we need to talk to the computer. That's always, be patient to read the computer. Select the curve to offset. This is a curve, I'm going to offset. Offset is just to make, a bigger one or smaller one, inside or outside. So distance by now is set to 100. The thickness of the wall is 240, right? 240. So we're going to click on this 100. We'll say 240, press enter, yeah? So now we are doing offset, at 240, but you can, as you move your mouse, you will see it will do it either inside or outside. You have two options. I'm going to just click. Once you can click, I can click my mouse, right? I'm going to bring this one outside and then click. Yeah, so I made the inside dimension 5 by 7. And then the outside is whatever, with the wall thickness. Which one is the outside? This one is the outside. Offset. O-F-F-I-C-E-T. Yeah, offset. Yeah. So that's basically a wall. It's very easy, right? And now I'm going to bring out a bit more of this here, this toolbar right here, all of this too. This one is zoom extend, okay? That's very useful. You can bring in everything that's in the view. Okay, here is orbit or rotate, orbit. So you need to see the perspective, right? So now the perspective is going to be useful. And this is zoom. Okay, all of those are quite useful. Zoom in and out, okay, big and small. Of course, I want to see the whole thing, okay? And here, maybe I'm going to use the zoom also, because this is your elevation, by the way. You may need to always use zoom extend to start. So here is two of the elevation, if we talk in technical term, okay? So floor plan, elevation, perspective, yeah? So now let's give a height. When we give a height, and this is a pan, P-A-N, which moves the view like this, okay, up and down, left and right, okay? So leave it here. So now we need to give a height. We want to extrude this whole thing, give the whole thing a height, yeah? So where do we do? There's multiple ways, and certainly we all get very confused very quickly. So what I normally do is sometimes I would first generate a surface, and then I would extrude the surface. You can probably also extrude the line, and then that's the very similar function. So I would demonstrate both. So let's generate a surface first. Okay, that's kind of a logical thinking. With the tool line, I'm going to here, this toolbar. The second of it, you do have to sort of remember where they are. This one is called the planer. So when I click on it, then you will see what happened is there's a surface generated for you in this, in between. Here is a surface, right? Yeah, so this blue thing is a surface. Before was only two lines. By the way, this blue you will not see because this is my setting. I purposely set for demonstration. So the lines are thicker and there's colors so that you can see better. Okay, so now I have a little surface here. I still have those two lines. So if you put your mouse over, you would sometimes, when you click on it, right, you will see curve, surface. So you have all of them. So I would select the surface because I use the surface to do the extrusion to give a height. So select, basically when you put your mouse over, you always have, whatever that's sort of overlapping in that area, they would all appear here. So it just depends on which one you want to select. I would select the surface, yeah? So when I select the surface, I'm going to this toolbar right here and do, sorry, I think it's still this toolbar, yeah? So the thing is, if I don't remember, most of you would not remember where they are. But, click a few times and sometimes something looks quite familiar, and then you will see it. This toolbar is to extrude. It's called, what is it called? Extrude straight. Yeah. So this is extrude. If you don't remember toolbar, you can also type in. So I'm going to use the toolbar. Extrude, yeah. So, but this one tells me select the curve to extrude. So that's not what we want, because I want to extrude the the surface. So I needed to go to a different place. Maybe, let me just tell you, I mean, but don't get, you should try to follow what I did and then extrude. Okay, so when you type in extrude, you haven't finished, you already have so many options. So you can extrude the curve, you can also extrude the surface. So I'm going to extrude the surface. Because I want solid, I want to, when I extrude, it's solid, it knocked on, it's like a box. It's not a paper, you know. So I extrude the surface, yeah. So now I select, we need to keep talking to the computer, select the surface to extrude. I can select here too. I can select based on my floor plan, yeah? Then press enter when done. This is very important, press enter when done, because if you don't press enter, you will not be allowed to move on. Okay, now there's so many of them. There's, you know, when you read this, there's many options. You could select the direction, you could do this direction, or you could do this direction, you know, bring this object above the floor or below the floor. You have many options. You can also even do diagonal if you like, because you can select the direction. I'm just showing you, you can give a direction like this. Yeah, and then you're doing, if you look at one of my elevation, you know that you're actually extruding diagonally, but I don't really want, because it's just a normal space. So I'm going to bring back and press shift. Okay, yeah, so it's still hard, I mean, vertical. I'm not extruding diagonally. So you have many options when you look at all of these options here, yeah? So solid, yes, I should say yes, actually here, because once I extrude, I'm extruding into a solid piece. So here I should probably click and change it to yes. Yeah, so all of this, I'm not reading all of this, and we're just going to give a height. The height is the room, the height, distance. So I'm going to type in, here is 0. So what's the height? Give me a height, something that's realistic from your studio. 3 meters. So I type in 3,000, yeah? Be patient, yeah, my computer is a little slow, probably working on a lot of stuff. So done, yeah. So that's the box, yeah? That is done. So when you've done the box, very normally you would probably always need a floor, you know. I can probably bring in one of the line that's before, right here, the inner curve, and just make the inner curve into another planar surface. Planar surface means a surface that's flat, it's not curvy, or, you know, that, you know, so it's a flat surface. So click on it. Okay, I got a little bottom there as a floor. So now let's open some windows and doors. I want to open the window that looks like the or looks like what we see in the cafeteria in the VCU cafeteria. So that's the window I'm thinking. I'm going to open the window like that. Or a door, actually cannot be door. Door wouldn't function, normally won't, my function. But anyway, so I'm going to design something that I'm going to use, just double click and bring in one of the elevation, yeah. And I'm going to draw a curve. So I used this as a straight line. I'm going to do a curvy line. And I'm not so interested in the, actually, let's do a reasonable dimension. So I'm bringing a rectangular and press on at, you know, at, right? Shift and at. And I'm going to at 2400. That might be the horizontal one, and 2100. So two of the dimension with a comma in between. Okay. Yes. How do I add that number? Yes, yes. So what happens at is relative number. So for example, I'm going to make a box, yeah, a square, yeah. So how do I do a square? I would press on Shift and at, yeah. So there's a little at up here. So I'm going to do 2000, okay, comma, another 2000, yeah. Press Enter, then you will see. Probably, yeah. I think horizontal first because this one is 2400 by 2100. You will see the 24 is this direction. Yeah. So the first number is horizontal. Good question.
Indicate that you start from the point that you started. So when
you click down.
Selected a point on her plan.
Anywhere.
Anywhere, right? Yeah. We don't really know which coordinate this is. This is because it's a random click. But she wants to have a perfect square, and then she says, which is from the original point that you have created, that becomes, remember when we talked about measurement? That becomes a 0, and then she can get the coordinate out this. So the object follows the rules from the object, not from the coordinate system that Rhino has, right? Rhino is working with the same coordinate system that you were working with when we started measuring. But it's already there. So 0, 0, 0 is an actual point on that board. And if you want to, some people, I prefer to start with the 0, 0, 0. So I know where one point is, and then I can easily find my way around the system. But if you don't do that, then you need to use from that particular point. Mm-hmm. Is that understood? Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Yeah. So the reason I'm drawing something like this is just to give me an idea. So when you start to model or when you start to design, this is how you think. I'm going to do curvy things, but that curvy things should still follow some kind of a dimension, so I cannot just randomly draw. So that's just a guideline. So at the bottom, all of this little box that you can check is actually called the object snap. I don't know if you can see it. This is called O snap. You can click on O snap on or O snap off. So now I wanted to snap because what I really want to do is some kind of Arab curved thing, and then I want to start from the middle of it, the middle of it, the midpoint. So that's why all of this snapping comes in very handy, because you can snap to, of course, you can snap to an end. If I have a line from here to here, okay, when I start to draw another one, I already snapped it to the end, by the way, because when I move to, you will see it. So it's very precise, yeah? If you don't have a snap to the end, if you remove this one, you're not snapping, you try to draw, you can only zoom in and see if, and then you will never be able to really to be at the end, so it's not precise if you are not using snapping, yeah. So I have my end selected. By the way, they're so small. They're here, yeah. The end. Oh, this is end. This is a point. This is a meet. Okay, never mind. Then once you get further, you open your own interface, then you will read what they are. I normally snap to the end, or for this case, I will snap to the middle point, yeah, the middle point. So I'm going to start to draw a curve. Because I snap to the middle point, see when my mouse pointing over to somewhere at the middle, yeah, here is the middle of this line. You see I'm ID as middle, yeah, so it would snap to it. So this is the middle. So I started from the middle. I'm going to draw a curve because it's a curve, yeah. So as I go along, I would also use another one called the near. Okay, whenever near, N-E-A-R, so that I would be on this line, because if I don't use near, I could be inside or outside the box. If I click on near, I'm actually really perfectly on the line, near the line. Okay, so if you want to get the point that's really near the line, you can do it. Okay, now I'm going to use Shift again. And then, wait, I think it's probably good enough. Just click to the end, okay? And press enter. So what happened is I made a curve that goes from the center, from here, and all the way to this end, yeah? You can control the curve. It's a very good thing. You click and you click, you select a point which is not on the curve. They're called the control point. They're not on the curve. They're here and there. They're off the curve. But if you drag, okay, now since I talk about the control point is the magic for Rhino. Without the control point, the Rhino is like handicapped. It cannot even function because that's where we control the surface and then we control the line, all this fancy curvy stuff that goes with the control point. So
you have done this if you've done curved lines in Illustrator. You're using splines, right? This is a spline and it has the same mathematical principle as a spline. So control point indicate you put the control point on the spline and you can drag things up. So the spline follow a kind of a mathematical process of almost gravitation fields, where you can pull and push the line from two different sides in this case.
So here, this little two, this little tool or this little button that you can click on will turn on the control point, which you do not see very well. But when I click on it, I actually turn on the control point. Oh, by the way, this is the trick, or this is the trouble I learned about using VMware, is it doesn't display perfectly. That's a problem. If I use Windows, it would display where the control points are, because the VM is kind of just a helper between the Mac and the Windows. So it's not perfect in display. So you don't see it very well. But if I move, you will see it. See, I'm moving something which is my control point, so that if I move, it goes to different places. So you can and then you can drag. This one, yeah, if I move, you can, if you get really close, you will see there's no point because the problem is the display. But here is, I click and here is the other control point. So if you use a VMware, you probably have the same trouble. You don't see the control point, but you can just sort of randomly guess, okay? You don't see it, but you can guess, yeah, because you can guess and click and select it. So that takes a little trouble. So anyway,
who has not used this function on Illustrator? So you're aware what to do. It just the trick is to find it in this program. Right? You work on the same commands, but finding them quite differently. Right? So it's something that you should think about when you learn a computer program. They follow very similar rules. So if you're coming into the interface of Maya, AutoCAD, Illustrator, all these vector programs work in the same rules, it's just to find the commands. But they work very similar. So when you later on, people say when you come out and say, can you use this program? You say, yes, I can very quickly learn this because I know Rhino or I know Revit or AutoCAD. So don't stare yourself blind on a specific program. We're going to learn Rhino, of course, because it's one of the easiest programs to come in, but it follows the same rules as all 3D programs. Deal with it.
Yeah, okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to mirror the line I just draw, make a copy of it, make a mirror image of it so that it looks like, the window that I envisioned. So I type in mirror, right? I just type in mirror and then select object for mirror. I select this object and then press enter when done. You always read, that's just a hobby. If you don't read, then you would be lost very quickly because you really would not remember, unless you do many times. So, okay, a copy, yes, which means I will have two of them. And then what I do is I would snap to, here is and the middle point. both, yeah? Because for this yellowish line, that's the end. For the original line, that's the mid. Okay, undo, sorry, because I clicked the wrong point. I mean, it's outside of the boundary box. Okay, undo. Okay, that's very easy. Undo right here, undo. Yeah, you will see that. Okay, let's do the mirror again. I have to type in mirror. Enter, select the object, press enter, select this point, good. I'm going to do the trick that I've been doing a lot, which is press on shift, yeah. Shift, because shift makes only go vertically, and I click, yeah. So now I cannot, you know, when you mirror, you have the access for mirror. You cannot just mirror anywhere, yeah? So, okay, so this is a good, maybe I would even give a little polka dot, okay? This is what I call it a contemporary Arabic pattern, okay? That's not for real, it's for fun. Okay, a little one, this one here, okay, a little star, that's just you go and found, okay, this, okay. Okay, you would not have a pattern like this, you know it, yeah. But another one, I'm using the star again, but this time I'm making the star is, you know, you can give it more sides. So now I'm giving 6, you know, so now it's a different star because it has a 6 sides, yeah? If you like, you can also give a 10, you know, okay? So all of this is my, window, yeah? A window design. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to give a planar surface and see where the surface is. Oh, it's too much. That's not what I want. This is, remove this one. That's over. I wanted this surface only go here. So, okay, that's not what I want. How do I wanted to fill in only this part and this part, not the middle. So maybe, uh-huh.
How do you put in the sides to make it start?
Oh, this is just one of the command that you have, you know, it's a polygon star, and you click, and you click, and then you click. Basically, you click and click and click. Yeah. So yeah, click, click, click. Yeah. So anyway, let's not worry about this. I need to think about it. How do I wanted the surface only on this part, but not the middle, because the middle is my mirror. So I'm not very successful because I have this, you know, the little star and the stuff like that. If that's the case, I might just do, what I might just do is I'm going to stop messing around. I'm just going to use this line, and the bottom one, and form a shape, and then I make it into solid. I'm going to use that and puncture a hole. So actually all of this, whatever that I'm not selecting, they're not going to be useful. By the way, this is another comment you always need, because once you draw something, sometimes they're all together, but sometimes you don't want them to be together. You want just one of the line. So for example, I have a rectangular, right? I want only one of the line. I would do something called explode. Okay, and so right here, okay, this one, explode. So once I explode the thing, I would be able to have one, just individual ones, yeah. Okay, so now let's select 3 of them together, okay? And now I'm going to do something, this to me is very useful, a planar surface. Okay, I got something like this, yeah? So now I'm going to extrude this thing, okay, this surface. Yeah, this funny surface, I'm going to extrude. I'm going to eventually use the solid and the puncture hole, and then I would conclude for now, and next class or let you mess around a little bit. So extrude, I want to extrude this, yeah? How do I extrude, by the way? It's this object. Yes. So I type in extrude, yeah? Halfway, I would select the extrude surface, yeah? Yeah, press enter. Okay, so I can extrude any, actually let's extrude longer than my space. So what happened is, if I go and do the top view, by the way, you're shifting between views a lot. And let's say I'm going to where this thing is, okay? Okay, on top view, they are on top of my, okay, it's right here. Okay, I'm going to move this one down. And because I have a center midpoint, I can snap mid to mid, midpoint to midpoint. So what happened is this is in the middle of the object, which is really good because sometimes if you want to open the door, you want the door to be right in the center. You don't want the door to be just any place. So I press on Shift. Yeah. Okay. So what happened is I'm sort of embedded this object into this. So what I want to do is I want to do something called the Boolean. So I'm cutting this piece from this piece. So once I done Boolean, I open the two windows on the wall that I cross it. So Boolean is right here, okay? Boolean union, I can probably just use this Boolean union. Yeah, I will use this called Boolean union. And okay, read, select surface to union, or maybe this one. And this one, press enter. Boolean union, oh, no, wrong, undo. It's not Boolean union, I'm not going to union them. It's, let's click on it, the Boolean, wait, which one? Maybe this one, Boolean difference? Boolean split? Boolean difference would definitely be, it's called the Boolean. What's the, B-O-O-L-E-A-N, yeah, Boolean. Okay, so I use the second one. Select the surface to subtract from, which is this one. That's the original surface that I want to subtract. Okay, press enter, continue. Then press the surface to subtract the width, which is the second one. Press enter. That's what I did. Okay, that's a Boolean. Is to remove something from something. Someone is playing with the phone behind. I know you're bored, but this is very, very fundamental. And if you don't learn now, you will have to learn it later anyway. Okay, so try to practice this. So basically this gives you idea how to build roughly a surface, a structure. And by the way, it doesn't have to be just a square, right? Your building in the future is very complicated. It's horizontal this way, vertical this way, horizontal this way, whatever the vertical, this direction, okay, diagonal, like this. Okay, you have whatever building shape that you will have to deal with, right? Very sophisticated. I don't go back to that. That would be strange. So I would go maybe here, but this is not closed. So what I needed to do is I'm going to trim over because I'm going to just use one of the two to make a corner. Here I say 0. I think. Oh, maybe this. I don't know. Ooh. Anyway, too much. Anyway, there's you would probably get I tried to meet the corner. I wasn't able to because I don't have the dimension. If I have a dimension, I go 5 meter here, 2 meter here, 3 meter here. You know, I can come back because I don't know the dimension. So I'm a diagonal looking a bit strange with the building like this. Anyway, practice on it. And what's the time? Now it's 10:15. 10:15. You will have a break and until 10:45. Yeah, and then you will be back in this room. Okay.